Warriors, on this episode of hashtag Ask the Anxiety Guy Show, I'm talking about toques, symptoms, and uncertainty. Warriors, welcome. Your questions matter. You're listening to the Ask the Anxiety Guy Show.
This podcast episode is brought to you by the End the Anxiety Program, a downloadable CBT-based program created by the anxiety guy himself to help heal your emotional distress and put anxiety behind you once and for all. Visit www.anxietyexit.com to learn more today.
Warriors, welcome to the first edition of the hashtag Ask the Anxiety Guy Show. I'm Dennis Simsek. I'm super duper excited, pumped up to do the second episode of the Anxiety Guy podcast. So this is coming out every Thursday, and I will be answering all of your important questions, well, at least 3 to 4 of them each and every week. And you can ask your questions via our Facebook tribe, via Instagram, or Twitter. So if you go on Google and hashtag Ask the Anxiety Guy Show, you will find a page there that explains everything about the show, my friends. And today we've got some exciting news, very, very exciting news. On the Facebook tribe, we've got some people that need shout outs. They need shout outs. Shout out going out to Kim Plesek, turning 31. Happy birthday, Kim. Love you. Shout out to Jessica Thompson on the Facebook tribe. Also has a birthday. Not sure how old she's becoming, but she looks super young on the Facebook tribe. Looking good. That face cream is working. Yeah. And I want to also give a shout out to 2 people who are inspiring me as much as they say I'm inspiring them. Brian Kranz and Sylvia Martinez. Been working with these people for a couple months now and highly inspired by their drive and commitment and just overall juice to be able to help more people out there. So I'm so proud of you, Brian, Sylvia. Love you all. And you know what? I'm just pumped. I'm just pumped at how real this episode is going to be. Robin, are you pumped?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm here.
Robin's in the back. She's taking care of the camera stuff. And it's just going to be real. And I just, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. All sorts of emotions. We're going to cry together. We're going to laugh together and all that sort of stuff. But I've got 4 very important questions here. One from Facebook. One as an email, and you can do that. You can send me an email to get your question on the show. One via Instagram, the Instagram community, and one through the YouTube community. So I've got 4 questions. And after these questions, I want to go into the question of the week. I will be asking you a question. So very important to understand the format of the show. Shout outs first, questions next, answers after that, question of the week, and there we go. We're going to be crushing this. So let's get into the first question, guys, on our Facebook tribe, coming from Danielle O'Keefe. Danielle asks, how do you decipher between an anxiety symptom or an actual medical issue? This is a big one. This is one where I actually went through day after day after day. And she continues by saying, I have a hard time figuring out what sensations are caused from anxiety or something that is more problematic and lands me at the doctor's office more times than I would like. The answer to that question in the best way that I could possibly answer it, Danielle, is that when you know your habits and tendencies well enough, you will know what is related to sensitivity and what is related to an actual physical ailment. You will just know, because here's how it unfolded in my life. Every sensation or symptom that was related to anxiety, I basically connected it to something catastrophic. It was a physical illness. It was a tumor. It was this. It was cancer, whatever it may be. Those catastrophic thoughts, the more entertaining I did of them, the deeper I looked into them, the more I Googled them, the more I asked people about them, the deeper the ditch was that I was digging myself into. So, to answer your question, at least from my perspective and my recovery, when you get to a place where you are way less sensitized to the sensation or the media or people's opinions or Google, when you're way less sensitized and someone can say something and you can just become emotionally neutral around the answer or the reaction to it, then you will know what is related to anxiety and what is related to something physical. But no matter what, if it is, if you believe that it's something physical, you got to go get it checked. You got to go get it checked. But when you're going multiple times, okay, that's obsessive. And when it gets obsessive, the sensations are going to stick around longer and they're going to get worse. So you will know when you've sensitized yourself. But if you've gotten the answer from the doctors and you've gotten the notes and all that sort of stuff, put them up on your fridge. Build on the facts and the evidence that supports the idea that you're healthy and work on your anxiety. Just work on your sensitivity. Stop questioning yourself so much. Stop questioning your ability to move past these sensations and symptoms. The more curious you become over them, the worse they're going to become. So, Danielle, I hope I've answered that question. Thanks for that question. It's a very important one. And an email question from Tom. Tom asks, Dennis, why do you wear so many toques in your videos and your Insta stories? I like it. Tom, I've got a pretty straightforward answer to that. And the answer to that, and I get this question a lot, the answer to that, why I wear toques, is because I remember watching this movie. I was a kid. Do you remember that movie? Sylvester Stallone, Over the Top.
Oh.
That was before my time. The arm wrestling one. That shows how old I am. But there's a movie called Over the Top by Sylvester Stallone, and every single time he was, and it was an arm wrestling movie. Every time he was arm wrestling someone, his hat was forward, and then just before he started the competition, he turned his hat backwards and he got into this mode like the Incredible Hulk, and all this adrenaline was running through his system, and all of a sudden he was using his body, you could see, and you know what? He willed himself to victory every single time. And when I put that toque on, it kind of gives me a similar feeling, but a little bit different. It's more Zen-like. I'm just like, oh man, I got this clarity in my mind, I've got this strength in my body, and I've got this connectedness to the universe. I just feel that when I put that toque on. And so that's why I wear toques. It just makes me feel connected. Makes me feel like I have the answers. Makes me feel like I'm moving in the right direction. So, Tom, there's the answer to that. Why I wear toques. It's thanks to Mr. Stallone. Love that movie. Go check it out. Very intense. Very motivational. And another question here from the Instagram community. In Creative, I believe it's at In Creative, asks, Dennis, how did you overcome the hurdle of letting go of the need to control and the factor of uncertainty? I feel like this hurdle is my biggest challenge currently. Thank you. What a hurdle. I mean, if you think about it, you think about anxiety, you think about panic, you think about OCD, you think about depression. I mean, how much of these emotional challenges are so related and sticks around because of the certainty factor, because of the safety factor. It's just safe. It's just, in an anxious person's mind, it's just safer to keep thinking the way you're thinking because unconsciously it feels like it's keeping you alive. It's actually doing you some good. Consciously you may think to yourself and go, okay, why am I still thinking this way? Why am I still reacting in this way? Why am I still acting this way? Why do I respond to people in this way? Why do I look for so much reassurance? Consciously we get it. But unconsciously, your system defaults to whatever is familiar. Whatever has been familiar, whatever is consistent, it doesn't matter if you feel like it's good for you or not. That will be the direction that the system wants to go. So the question is how did I overcome the hurdle of letting go? And the need to control and the factor related to uncertainty. At a deep level, I recognized how it was hurting me rather than helping me. That's it. I basically got to a place where I peeled the onion, I looked deeper, I created this critical, pinpointed perspective, and I got real with myself. I started to ask myself, although this may feel like it's keeping me certain and safe, although my system is defaulting to it and it's keeping me more anxious, how is it hurting me in my life? When I connected enough pain, I started to change. When I connected enough pain to still thinking that way, being that way, acting that way, that is when the drive showed up. That is when dissatisfaction showed up, because so many anxiety sufferers, they say they're in pain, but they're not in enough mental and emotional pain to make the change stick for a long period of time. It's just not there. They say that, you know what, I'm so tired of living this way, but you just haven't gone past that threshold. So in order to let go of the need to control and uncertainty, you have to make a list of all the things it's holding you back from. Make the list. Stop being so general and broad in your answer to that question. Make the list. It's hurting me in my relationships. It's keeping me behind as far as the business that I want to start. It's limiting my emotional health. It's limiting my physical health. In 5 to 10 years, if I keep living this way, where's my life going to go? How am I going to be with my kids? It's holding me back from traveling. Now you've created enough pain, and now you can begin to see through the habits and the routines that you have created. You have created them, and now you become accountable. Now you become responsible for where you are in your life, and you stop blaming everything. You stop blaming the world. You stop blaming your past. You stop blaming your childhood. You stop blaming the fact that you don't have enough money. You stop blaming your dog, the seagulls, the world. I was there. I blamed everything. I hope that helps. @InCreative. Thanks for asking that question. Question from the YouTube community. Hensa Kunanen asks, why is anxiety more physical rather than mental? Why is anxiety more physical rather than mental? Is it more physical rather than mental? I mean, we feel pain, we feel the physical effects of anxiety, but we're not so much in tune with the mental and cognitive effects of anxiety, because the physical gets the attention of the conscious mind much more than the mental. There's something wrong with the body. I don't want to feel these things in my system anymore. I get it. But the answer to that question is because the feelings in the body are a result of the thoughts and the emotions that one person thinks consistently. If you think in one way for a long enough period of time, and that cycle of thinking is geared towards danger, fears, and threats, you will feel it physically eventually. Okay? And when you feel it physically eventually, your body is basically sending you a signal. It's saying, hey, guess what? The thoughts that are currently rotating, cycling consistently in your world are geared towards the fact that the unconscious mind and the nervous system feel the need to protect you. Whatever the body is doing, it's a signal. It's a reaction to something. And you know what it mainly is? It's memory. It's memory. It's I'm in the current moment going through a memory from the past. And that was an emotionally traumatic memory. So the answer to the question is, why is it more physical rather than mental? Because anxiety and overthinking and catastrophic thinking and negative automatic thoughts and highly sensitized emotional states drain the body faster than any physical effort that you could put in throughout the day. It's harder on the body than a marathon. It's harder on the body than any physical activity that you could do, any mental and emotional state that has been practiced for a long period of time, that is related to danger, that is related to fear, that is related to anger, distrust, doubt, no faith. My friends, you will feel it physically. It's just the way it is. And the opposite of that is peace, is relaxation, is clarity. If you think thoughts that promote a peaceful state, you will feel peaceful. If you see your childhood as being a peaceful time, not a traumatic time, but a peaceful time. If you go back in time and say, hey, that experience wasn't so bad because I'm seeing it from another person's perspective. Bang, all of a sudden the memory's changed. All of a sudden the unconscious mind back there is taking notes. It's going, oh, wow, okay, well, the perspective changed. We don't have to hang on to this memory anymore. We can let go of this one and be a lot more neutral physically about it, physically, okay, because you've already done the work mentally. But until you do the work mentally, nothing will change physically.
That's very important.
Because there's so many people out there, Ben, that, I'm calling you Ben. I should explain that. Raw bin, sometimes B, all those things. You are all those things. So, people have to understand that you got to make the changes internally, and you've got to make the changes to your memories, because when you change the memory, you change the emotional state and the attachment to that memory. Okay? And there are many different ways on how to change a memory. Anything from neuro-linguistic programming to hypnosis to guided meditations. There are many, many ways that you can get in touch with your subconscious mind. I'm not going to go into it now, but I hope I've answered that question, Hensa. Thanks for the question. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Robin, that concludes hashtag Ask the Anxiety Guy show. First one. Really pumped for this show. Very real. I got to go get some breakfast. I'm hungry. Yeah. I haven't even eaten yet.
We're doing an early morning show.
Yeah, it's like 7 a.m. filming this, recording it. This will be on YouTube, of course. So go check it out there and check me out wearing a hat today, not a toque. And Tom asked that question about the toque.
And yeah, just a reminder to all the warriors that they can get their questions in. They can really make this show what they want it to be, because no question is a wrong question.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a silly question. Yeah. There's no such thing as a wrong question. One of the things we have to do is I have to lift up this mic a bit because I'm crouched over. But anyway,
yeah,
we'll move on from that. Question of the week. Question of the week is, and I'm asking you this question. I want you to brainstorm it. I want you to get critical. I want you to look deep. Question of the week. What safety behaviors are you willing to sacrifice in your life in order to create your ideal emotional state? What are you willing to sacrifice in your life as far as a safety behavior? Something that you're running from, something that you're avoiding. My friends, until you sacrifice not just one thing, but multiple things, many things, sacrifices in your perspectives, sacrifices in your behaviors, sacrifices in your habits, until you sacrifice those things that are currently giving you little bits of reassurance here and there and providing what I call the fix, the dopamine fix or the serotonin fix until you get the fix. We have to understand that those little tiny temporary pleasures need to be sacrificed in order for you to have long-term fulfillment, long-term change, long-term growth. So question of the week again is, what safety behaviors are you willing to sacrifice in your life in order to create your ideal emotional state? Ask yourself that question. Why? Because you are more than anxiety. Thank you so much for your questions. Keep them coming. I'll keep answering them. I love you all so very much. See you soon.
Warriors, remember, you are more than anxiety. You keep asking the questions, and I'll keep answering them.